The space around Pluto was quiet that Tuesday morning. Captain Jake Morrison sat in his chair at the monitoring station on Sharon, drinking his third cup of coffee and watching the endless black of space through the big window. Nothing ever happened out here. The most exciting thing in months was when a mining ship had accidentally dropped a cargo container near Neptune. Jake was about to start his daily report when every alarm in the station went crazy. Red lights flashed. Sirens screamed. His coffee cup fell to the floor and broke into pieces. What the hell? Jake jumped to his feet and ran to the main screen. His hands moved fast over controls, trying to figure out what was wrong. Then he saw them. 12 massive ships appeared out of nowhere, like ghosts becoming real. They were huge, bigger than anything Jake had ever seen. Each one was at least a kilometer long, covered in metal that looked like it could stop anything. Strange lights pulsed along their sides. Weapons that looked mean and deadly stuck out everywhere. Jake's mouth fell open. He had never seen alien ships before. Nobody had. But these things could only be alien ships. They moved in perfect formation, like dancers who had practiced for years. The biggest ship was in the middle. It was even larger than the others, with a shape that reminded Jake of a sword. Its hull was dark red, almost black, with gold lines running along its edges. This had to be the flagship. Jake's hands shook as he reached for the communication panel. He needed to tell someone about this. Fast. Luna Base, this is Sharon Station. He said into his microphone. His voice cracked a little. We have a situation out here. Lieutenant Amy Carter answered from Luna Base. She sounded bored. What kind of situation, Jake? Did another mining ship lose its cargo again? Amy, you need to listen to me. There are 12 huge alien ships sitting at the edge of our solar system. They just appeared out of hyperspace, or whatever these things use. There was silence on the other end. Then Amy's voice came back, much more serious now. Jake, are you feeling okay? Did you hit your head or something? I'm sending you the sensor data right now, Jake said. His fingers flew over controls. Look at your screen, Amy. Tell me what you see. A few seconds passed. Then Amy made a sound like someone had punched her in the stomach. Oh my God! Jake! Those things are enormous. How big are they? The big one in the middle is about 2 kilometers long. The others are around 1 kilometer each. And Amy, they have enough weapons to blow up a planet. I'm calling Earth Defense Command right now, Amy said. Keep watching them, Jake. Don't do anything stupid. Jake wanted to laugh. Do something stupid? What could he possibly do against ships that big? His little monitoring station had no weapons. The only thing he could do was hide behind Sharon and hope they didn't notice him. But the alien ships weren't moving toward Earth yet. They just sat there in space, like they were waiting for something. 10 minutes later, Jake's communication panel lit up with an incoming message. But it wasn't from Earth. It was from the alien ships. A deep voice filled the station. It spoke English, but with a strange accent that made every word sound dangerous. Primitive inhabitants of this star system. I am Admiral Corvin Thex of the Zephyrian Empire. You'll surrender immediately or face complete destruction. Jake stared at the speaker like it was a snake. The alien was actually talking to them. To him, the voice continued. We have conquered 47 star systems. We have destroyed countless worlds. Your small ships and weak defenses cannot stop us. Surrender now, and some of you may live as slaves. Jake looked at the huge alien ships on his screen. Then he looked at the small human patrol ships that were slowly moving toward the aliens. The human ships looked like toys next to the alien monsters. Most people would have been scared. Most people would have begged for mercy or tried to run away. But Jake Morrison was not most people. He had grown up in Detroit, where you learned not to be impressed by bullies who drove big cars and made loud noises. He picked up his microphone and pressed the talk button. Nice ships, Jake said in a casual voice. Did you guys compensate for something when you built those? The communication channel went quiet. Jake could almost imagine confusion on the alien ship. He decided to keep talking. I mean, they're really big. Like, really, really big. Most people might think you're trying to make up for having small, whatever aliens have that they worry about being small. Still no answer from the aliens. Jake was starting to enjoy himself. Also, 47 star systems? That's it? I know pizza delivery guys who cover more territory than that, and they do it in 30 minutes or less. His communication panel beeped. Amy was calling from Luna Base. Jake, what are you doing? She whispered. These things could vaporize you. They're bullies, Amy. I grew up dealing with bullies. The trick is not to be scared of them. Jake looked at the alien ships again. Besides, look at those things. They're so big, they probably can't turn around without hitting each other. I bet they get stuck in parking lots all the time. The alien admiral's voice came back over the speakers. He sounded confused and angry. Human, you do not seem to understand your situation. We could destroy your pathetic station with one shot. Could you, though? Jake asked, because I'm looking at your weapons, and they all seem designed for shooting at big, slow targets. I'm sitting next to a moon that's covered in rocks and ice. You fire one of those huge cannons at me. You're a problem because an avalanche and lose track of where I am. Then I'll be like a mosquito you can't swat. Jake was making this up as he went along, but it sounded good, and the aliens weren't shooting at him yet, which he took as a good sign. Besides, Jake continued, if you're so tough, why are you all the way out here talking instead of already taking over Earth? Are you waiting for permission or something? 3 days after the alien fleet arrived, Earth sent its best people to talk with them. The meeting would happen on Harmony Station, a small space station that floated between Earth and Mars. It was neutral ground, built for exactly this kind of situation. Colonel Lisa Hayes packed her bags in her apartment in Washington. She was Earth's top expert on alien cultures, even though she had never actually met any aliens before. She had spent 20 years studying radio signals from space and writing books about what aliens might be like. Now she would find out if she was right. Lisa was a small woman with gray hair and smart eyes. She wore simple clothes and carried herself like someone who was not easily impressed. Her friend said she could make anyone feel stupid just by asking the right questions. Commander Ryan Brooks would go with her. He worked for military intelligence, and his job was to figure out what the aliens really wanted. Ryan was tall and thin, with the kind of face that gave away nothing. He had been in the Army for 15 years and had seen enough wars to know that most fights started because people did not talk to each other properly. The shuttle ride to Harmony Station took 6 hours. Lisa spent the time reading reports about the alien ships. Ryan studied videos of their movements. Neither of them talked much. They both knew this meeting could decide whether humanity lived or died. Harmony Station was small and cramped. It had been built quickly when the aliens first arrived. The meeting room was just a metal box with a table and some chairs. There were cameras everywhere so people on Earth could watch what happened. The aliens arrived first. Their shuttle was black and red, like their big ships. It moved through space without making any sound, which somehow made it seem more dangerous. War Commander Vex Morris stepped into the meeting room, and Lisa had to work hard not to laugh. The alien was 7 feet tall and covered in scales that looked like green leather. He wore armor that was covered in spikes and sharp edges. His helmet had horns on it. He looked like someone's idea of what a scary monster should look like. Behind him came 2 other aliens who were dressed the same way, but smaller. They carried weapons that hummed with energy. Everything about them screamed, "We are dangerous and you should be afraid." Lisa stood up and smiled. "Welcome to Harmony Station. I'm Colonel Hayes, and this is Commander Brooks. Would you like some coffee? We have the good stuff." Morris stopped walking. He stared at Lisa like she had just asked him to dance. His mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. "No coffee, then," Lisa said. "That's fine. Some people don't like caffeine. Makes them jittery." She sat down and pointed to the chairs across from her. "Please, have a seat. Those chairs should hold your weight." Morith finally found his voice. "I am War Commander Vex Morith of the Zephyrian Empire. I do not drink your human liquids. I am here to accept your surrender." "That's nice," Lisa said. She opened her notebook and wrote something down. War Commander Vex Morith. "Is Vex your first name, or is that a title? I want to make sure I spell it right in my report." The alien's eyes got wider. You will address me as War Commander at all times." "Of course," Lisa said. "War Commander Vex Morith. That's quite a mouthful. Do your friends call you Vex? Or do you prefer the whole thing?" Ryan leaned back in his chair and watched. He could see that Lisa was doing something on purpose, but he was not sure what. Morith pulled out a small device that projected pictures into the air. The first picture showed a planet covered in cities. The second picture showed the same planet on fire. The third picture showed nothing but empty space where the planet used to be. "This is the fate of all worlds that resist the Empire," Morris said. His voice was deep and full of anger. "We have destroyed hundreds of civilizations. Your species is weak and primitive. You cannot stop us." Lisa studied the pictures with interest. Impressive special effects. Very dramatic. "Did you make these yourself, or do you have a whole department for this kind of thing?" Morris's mouth fell open again. "These are not special effects. These are real planets that we destroyed." "Sure they are," Lisa said. She made another note in her book. "And I suppose you have witnesses? Maybe some home movies? It's amazing what you can do with computers these days." The alien's face turned a darker shade of green. "You dare to question the might of the Zephyrian Empire?" "I'm not questioning anything," Lisa said. "I'm just saying that anyone can make pictures. I could make a picture of you wearing a pink dress, but that wouldn't make it true." She paused. "Although now that I think about it, pink might be your color." Ryan had to cough to hide his laugh. He was starting to understand what Lisa was doing. She was treating the scary alien like a child who was trying too hard to impress adults. Morris showed more pictures. Cities burning. People running in fear. Armies being destroyed by alien weapons. Each picture was supposed to make the humans more afraid. But Lisa just kept asking questions. How do we know these aren't just movies? Where are the before and after shots? Do you have any documentation? This one looks like it might be from that old science fiction movie about the giant robots. "These are real battles," Morris said. His voice was getting higher, like he was frustrated. "We are the most feared force in the galaxy." "Says who?" Lisa asked. "Do you have reviews? Maybe some references from previous conquests? A better business bureau rating?" Ryan decided to join in. "Also, that armor looks really uncomfortable. All those spikes and sharp edges. Do you ever accidentally poke yourself? And those weapons your guards are carrying, they're humming. Is that normal? Because humming usually means something is about to break." Morris looked back and forth between the two humans. His guards shifted nervously. This was not going the way it was supposed to go. "You do not understand," Morris said. "We have conquered 47 star systems. We have never been defeated." 47? Lisa said. "That's not very many. The galaxy has billions of star systems. You've conquered less than 1% of 1%. That's like saying to the king of the world, because you won a thumb wrestling contest at a truck stop." The alien stood up suddenly. His chair fell over backward with a loud crash. "You will show respect for the Zephyrian Empire. Will show respect when you earn it," Ryan said calmly. "So far all you've done is show us some pictures and tell us how scary you are. My 10-year-old nephew does the same thing with his toy soldiers." Morritt's guards raised their weapons. The humming got louder. Lisa looked at the weapons and shook her head. "You know, threatening people during a diplomatic meeting is really poor form. Did they not teach you manners in War Commander School?" After the diplomatic meeting failed, the alien fleet moved closer to Earth. Admiral Corvin Thex expected to see panic. He expected to see humans running around like scared animals. He expected to see their military ships racing to defend their homeworld. Instead, he got Captain Tony Martinez. Tony was flying his mining ship called the Lucky Strike near Jupiter when the alien fleet passed by. The Lucky Strike was old and beaten up, held together with spare parts and hope. It was not a warship. It was barely even a good mining ship. But Tony had been flying it for 10 years, and he loved that old bucket of bolts. When Tony saw the alien fleet moving past him, he did what came naturally. He turned on his ship's communication system and started talking. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Tony Martinez, bringing you live coverage of the alien invasion," he said in his best sports announcer voice. We have 12 big, scary ships moving through our solar system like they own the place. Tony flew his little ship alongside the massive alien vessels. They were so big that his entire ship could have fit inside one of their engine ports. Look at the size of these things, folks, Tony continued. The one in the middle has got to be at least 2 kilometers long. That's bigger than most cities. I bet it takes him an hour just to walk from one end to the other. On the alien flagship, Admiral Thex watched a small human ship flying next to his fleet. The human was talking constantly, but Thex could not understand why. Was this some kind of attack? Was the human ship carrying weapons? Sir, said his second-in-command, the human appears to be providing commentary on our fleet movements. Commentary? Thex asked. Tony kept talking. Now, I've been flying ships for 20 years, and I have to say, these aliens have some interesting design choices. Look at all those weapon ports. They got guns on top of guns on top of more guns. It's like they went to a weapons store and said, yes, we'll take everything you have. Other human ships started to join in. Lieutenant Kate Johnson was flying patrol duty in her ship called the Midnight Runner when she heard Tony's broadcast. She thought it was hilarious. This is Lieutenant Johnson, she said over the open channel. I'm starting a betting pool on which alien ship will be the first to accidentally bump into an asteroid. My money is on the big red one in the middle. It looks like it has trouble with tight turns. More human voices joined the conversation. Engineer Dan Cooper was flying a cargo ship called Big Betty when he heard what was happening. Dan had been fixing ships for 30 years, and he had opinions about everything. Those engines look like they're running awfully hot, Dan said. See all that blue glow coming out the back? That's not normal. Someone should tell them to check their coolant levels before they overheat. The aliens were getting confused. They had conquered dozens of worlds, but they had never encountered anything like this. Usually when they showed up, people either ran away or tried to fight them. Nobody had ever offered mechanical advice. Sir, the second-in-command said to Admiral Thex, should we destroy these small ships? Thex thought about it. The human ships were tiny and carried no weapons. Destroying them would be like stepping on ants. But something about the situation bothered him. Meanwhile, Tony was having the time of his life. Oh, this is interesting. Folks, the aliens are changing formation. Look at that. They're trying to look more intimidating. It's like watching a high school marching band that practiced for years but still can't keep a straight line. The news about the alien fleet had reached Earth by now. Every television station was covering the story. But instead of showing panic and fear, they were broadcasting Tony's commentary. News anchor Helen Price sat at her desk in New York and tried to look serious. But she kept smiling when she read the reports. This is Helen Price with breaking news, she said. The alien invasion fleet is continuing to move toward Earth, accompanied by what appears to be a running commentary from our own Captain Tony Martinez. Let's go live to Captain Martinez now. Tony's voice came over the speakers. Thanks, Helen. I'm here with the aliens, and I have to say, they're very punctual. They said they were going to invade us, and here they are, right on schedule. You have to respect that kind of dedication. All over Earth, people were watching the invasion on television, but instead of being scared, they were laughing. Social media exploded with jokes about the aliens. Someone created a meme showing the alien ships with the caption, when you're trying to look scary, but you just look like you're overcompensating. Another meme showed Admiral Thex with the words conquered 47 star systems, still can't figure out humans. The aliens were starting to realize that their invasion was not going according to plan. Usually by this point, the local population would be begging for mercy. Instead, they were making jokes. Sir, said the communications officer on the alien flagship, we're receiving thousands of messages from the human homeworld. Are they surrender offers? Thex asked hopefully. No, sir. They appear to be suggestions for improving our ship designs, and several offers to sell us insurance. Lieutenant Kate Johnson was still running her betting pool. Okay, people, new bet. How long before one of these alien ships gets lost and has to ask for directions? I'm taking bets now. Engineer Dan Cooper had moved his cargo ship closer to the alien fleet. You know what? I feel bad for them. These ships are clearly not built for efficiency. Look at all that wasted space. And don't get me started on the aerodynamics. I know we're in space, but still design matters. A new voice joined the conversation. Jerry Nash was flying a small shuttle called the Paperclip. He was not military or even officially part of the Defense Forces. He was just a guy who delivered supplies to space stations. Has anyone else noticed that the aliens all have the same paint job? Jerry asked. Dark red with gold trim. It's like they all went to the same auto body shop. Where's the creativity? Where's the personal expression? Tony laughed. Good point, Jerry. You'd think with an entire empire, they'd have some variety. Maybe some racing stripes or flame decals. Admiral Thex was getting desperate. This was supposed to be a conquest, not a comedy show. He opened a channel to all the human ships. Humans, he said in his most threatening voice, you will stop this mockery immediately. We are the Zephyrian Empire. We are to be feared. Tony responded immediately. Admiral, buddy, you can't just demand to be feared. Fear is something you earn. Right now, you're earning amusement, maybe some pity, but definitely not fear. The other humans agreed. He's right, said Kate Johnson. You want to be scary? Stop talking about how scary you are and just be scary. All this telling us how great you are just makes you sound insecure. Admiral Pete Collins arrived with Earth's main defense fleet on the 5th day of the invasion. The human ships were smaller than the alien vessels, but they were fast and built for fighting. Pete had been in the Space Navy for 25 years and had never backed down from a fight. But Pete was also a smart man. He had been listening to Tony Martinez's commentary and watching how the aliens reacted to being mocked. He had an idea. All ships, this is Admiral Collins, he said over the fleet communication channel. We're going to try something different today. Follow my lead and remember, the goal is not to destroy these ships. The goal is to make them wish they had never heard of humans. Commander Alex Turner was flying his ship called the Hornet. Alex was young and crazy and always looking for a good time. When he heard the Admiral's orders, he grinned. What do you have in mind, sir? Alex asked. We're going to play tag. Pete said. The human fleet spread out around the alien ships. There were 30 human vessels against 12 alien ones. The human ships were tiny compared to the aliens, but they could move like lightning. Alex went first. He accelerated his ship to full speed and flew straight at the alien flagship. The aliens saw him coming and powered up their weapons. But instead of attacking, Alex flew past the big ship and hit it with a small paint round that left a bright red mark on the hull. Tag, you're it. Alex yelled over the communication channel. The alien gunners tried to shoot at Alex, but he was already gone, dancing between their weapons' fire like it was a game. Their big guns were designed to fight other big ships. They could not hit something as small and fast as the Hornet. Other human pilots joined in. Lieutenant Sarah Kim flew her fighter, called the Wasp, through the space between two alien ships. She was so close to their hulls that she could have reached out and touched them. The aliens fired everything they had at her, but she was too quick. Sarah managed to do something incredible. She flew her tiny fighter through the open hangar bay of one of the alien cruisers. She was inside the enemy ship for about 10 seconds. In that time, she dropped a small device that projected a message on the hangar wall. Human was here. Your security sucks. Then she flew back out before the aliens could figure out what had happened. The alien crews were going crazy. Their ships had shields and armor that could stop the biggest weapons, but they could not stop small, fast ships from embarrassing them. Squadron leader Mike Chen had 12 fighters under his command. He got them to fly in formation between the alien ships, spelling out rude words in space. The aliens could see what the humans were writing, but they could not stop them without risking hitting their own ships. This is humiliating, said the second-in-command on the alien flagship. Sir, we must do something. Admiral Thex was turning a darker shade of green with anger. Fire everything. I don't care if we hit our own ships. Stop these insects. But the worst was yet to come. Chief Engineer Rachel Stone was not a pilot. She was a computer expert who worked on fixing broken systems. Rachel was small and quiet, and most people underestimated her. But she was also the smartest person in the human fleet. Rachel had been studying the alien ships for days. She noticed that all their systems used the same basic computer language. It was more advanced than human computers, but it followed the same logical patterns. "Admiral," Rachel said over the communication channel, "I think I can hack into their main ship." "How long do you need?" Pete asked. "Give me 20 minutes and a cup of coffee," Rachel said. Rachel sat in her small repair ship and went to work. Her fingers flew over her keyboard as she broke through the alien computer defenses. The aliens had good security, but they had never faced a human hacker before. Exactly 20 minutes later, something strange happened on the alien flagship. The artificial gravity turned off. Admiral Thex was standing on his bridge giving orders when suddenly he started floating in the air. His entire crew began drifting around the command center like balloons at a party. "What is happening?" Thex yelled as he spun slowly in midair. His engineering officer was floating upside down near the ceiling. "Sir, someone has disabled our gravity generators. The system shows they are working perfectly, but there is no gravity." Rachel's voice came over the alien communication system. "Sorry about that, Admiral. I was just checking to see if your computers needed an update. Looks like they do. Do you need a step ladder or maybe some swimming lessons?" The human pilots were laughing so hard they could barely fly their ships. The mighty Admiral Thex, conqueror of 47 star systems, was floating helplessly in his own command center. But Rachel was not done. She turned the gravity back on, but only at half power. This meant that everything on the alien ship was floating just a little bit. People could walk, but every step made them bounce like they were on the moon. "This is better," Rachel said. "Now you can move around, but you look silly doing it. I thought that was more your style." The alien crew tried to work their controls, but it was hard to do when every movement made them bounce. They looked like they were dancing instead of fighting. Other human ships joined the fun. Captain Jerry Nash was flying a supply shuttle called the Paperclip. It was not a warship, but Jerry was creative. He flew up to one of the alien cruisers that had gotten stuck in an asteroid field. The big ship could not move without hitting rocks. "Need some help there?" Jerry asked over the communication channel. The alien captain was too proud to ask for help, but his ship was really stuck. Jerry attached a tow cable to the alien ship and started pulling it out of the asteroid field. His little shuttle was not strong enough to move the big ship, but Jerry was patient. He worked for 2 hours, slowly pulling the alien cruiser to safety. The whole rescue was broadcast live on Earth television. The news anchors could not stop laughing as they watched a tiny human shuttle towing a massive alien warship, like a broken-down car. "This is Jerry Nash with roadside assistance," Jerry said into his radio. "No job too big, no alien too proud. We also do oil changes and tire rotations." The alien captain was so embarrassed he turned off his communication system, but the damage was done. The entire human population had watched one of their citizens rescue an alien warship that got stuck in what was basically a space parking lot. Admiral Thex finally got the gravity working properly on his ship, but the humiliation was complete. His mighty fleet had been made to look like amateurs by a bunch of humans who treated warfare like a game. The worst part was that the humans had not actually hurt anyone. They had just made the aliens look foolish. It was the most polite military defeat in galactic history. Admiral Corvin Thex sat in his command chair and stared at the reports from his fleet. In 3 days, the humans had made his mighty armada look like a group of beginners who had never been in space before. His crew was demoralized. His ships were covered in paint marks from the human tag game. And worst of all, the entire galaxy was watching. The humans had been broadcasting everything. Every embarrassing moment was being sent across known space for other civilizations to see. The proud Zephyrian Empire was becoming a joke. "Sir," said his communication officer, "we're receiving more messages from the humans." "More insults?" Thex asked tiredly. "No, sir. They're offering to help us." Thex blinked. "Help us with what?" Lieutenant Commander Ben Taylor was the first human to offer assistance. Ben was an engineer who specialized in fixing broken ships. He had been watching the alien fleet for days and noticed several problems. "Attention alien fleet. Ben said over the open communication channel. "This is Lieutenant Commander Taylor with the Earth Defense Force. I've been monitoring your ships, and I think you might want to check your shield generators. They're running about 20 degrees hotter than they should be." Ben transmitted a technical manual to the alien fleet. "I'm sending you a repair guide. It's written in simple language, so your engineers should be able to follow it. No charge for the advice." The aliens did not know how to respond. They had never had an enemy offer to help them fix their equipment. Navigator Claire Adams was flying her science ship called the Explorer. Claire had spent years studying different types of engines. She noticed that the alien ships were making a strange noise. "Hey, aliens," Claire said in a friendly voice. "Your hyperspace drives are making that sound that usually means you need a tune-up. It's like when your car makes a weird noise and you know something is wrong, but you keep driving anyway hoping it will go away." Claire sent them a diagnostic program. "Run this on your engines, and it will tell you what needs to be fixed. Trust me, you don't want those drives breaking down when you're halfway home. Being stuck in space is no fun." The alien engineers were confused. They ran the human diagnostic program and discovered that Claire was right. Their drives did need maintenance. But why were the humans helping them? The strangest help came from Dr. Frank Morris, who was a psychologist on one of the human medical ships. Frank had been listening to the alien communications and noticed something. "Admiral Thex," Frank said in a gentle voice, "I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you sound stressed. Command is a difficult job, and the pressure can really get to a person. Have you considered taking a vacation?" Frank transmitted a guide about stress management. "I've included some breathing exercises and meditation techniques. They work for humans, so they might work for aliens too. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your ships." Admiral Thex stared at the transmission. A human doctor was offering him therapy advice. During an invasion, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. The final insult came when Captain Jake Morrison, the human who had first mocked the alien fleet, sent a personal message to Admiral Thex. "Admiral," Jake said, "I want to apologize if we hurt your feelings. We didn't mean to be cruel. It's just that you guys are trying so hard to be scary, and it's kind of adorable, like watching a puppy trying to be a wolf." Jake paused. "Look, I know this invasion thing isn't working out for you. Maybe you should consider a different line of work. Have you thought about tourism? With ships that big, you could carry a lot of passengers. Earth is a beautiful planet. We'd love to have alien visitors." Jake sent him a travel brochure. "I'm including some information about Earth's tourist attractions. The Grand Canyon is really something to see. And our pizza is famous throughout the galaxy. Well, it will be now that you guys are here." The other human pilots joined in with their own suggestions. "You could start a shipping company," said Tony Martinez. "Those big cargo holds could carry a lot of stuff. Or maybe a moving service," suggested Alex Turner. "When people want to relocate to a different planet, you could help them move their furniture." "Educational tours," said Sarah Kim. "Schools would pay good money to show kids what a real spaceship looks like." The suggestions kept coming. The humans were treating the alien invasion fleet like it was a business that needed career counseling. Admiral Thex looked around his bridge. His officers were reading the human suggestions with interest. A few of them were actually nodding like the ideas made sense. "Sir," said his second-in-command quietly, "the tourism idea is not completely unreasonable. We do have excellent ships for long-distance travel." Thex realized that his own crew was being convinced by the humans. The enemy had not only defeated his invasion, they were giving his people new career goals. The breaking point came when Jerry Nash sent his final message. Jerry had become famous across the galaxy for rescuing the stuck alien cruiser. Now he had one more offer. "Admiral Thex," Jerry said, "I've been thinking about your situation. You guys came all this way to conquer Earth, and it's not working out. That's got to be embarrassing. But here's the thing, you don't have to go home empty-handed." Jerry paused for effect. "Earth would like to offer the Zephyrian Empire a treaty of friendship. You could be the first aliens to sign a peace agreement with humanity. Think about it. Instead of being remembered as the guys who failed to conquer a primitive planet, You could be remembered as the visionary leaders who started a new age of cooperation. Jerry transmitted a formal treaty proposal. I'm sending you the paperwork now. It includes trade agreements, culture exchanges, and a mutual defense pact. Plus, we'll put up a statue of you on Earth with a plaque that says, Admiral Thex, bringer of peace. That's got to look better on your resume than failed to conquer small planet. Admiral Thex read the treaty proposal. It was actually well written and offered real benefits to both sides. The humans were offering to share their technology in exchange for alien knowledge. They wanted to set up embassies and student exchange programs. They even offered to help the Zephyrian Empire modernize their military tactics. Sir, said his communication officer, we're receiving reports from home. The Emperor has been watching our progress. He wants to know why we haven't conquered the humans yet. Thex thought about explaining that the humans had turned his invasion into a comedy show. He thought about telling the Emperor that his mighty fleet had been defeated by paintballs and practical jokes. He thought about admitting that human civilians were offering his crew career advice. Instead, he made a decision that would change galactic history. Open a channel to the human fleet, Thex said. This is Admiral Corvin, Thex of the Zephyrian Empire, he announced. After careful consideration, we had decided to accept Earth's offer of friendship. The Zephyrian Empire will sign a treaty of peace with humanity. The human pilots cheered over the communication channels. Earth erupted in celebration, and across the galaxy, other civilizations took note that a major empire had been defeated not by weapons, but by kindness and humor. Years later, Admiral Thex will retire from the military and start the galaxy's most successful tourism company. His ships carried millions of passengers to beautiful worlds throughout known space. And every tour began with the same speech. Welcome aboard, friends. Today you'll see wonders beyond imagination. But first, let me tell you about the time I tried to invade Earth and learned that sometimes the best victory is admitting you were wrong.